A very good afternoon. Welcome to FIS TV for the final chapter of what has already been a terrific couple of days here in Norway, the opening weekend of the World Cup. I'm David Goldstrom, together with Nina Lucy, as we are just a few minutes away from the start of the second World Cup for men. The individual competition supported by Viessmann. Yesterday, a clean sweep for Austria. Qualification has just finished. Austria strong again with Jan Hurl producing the best effort of 141.5 meters. And the Austrians coached by the legendary Andy Widhersel in tip-top shape. Well, as I said, I'm here, and alongside me, Nina Lucy, 4 times champion ski jumper of the United States. Nina, it's been a super couple of days. I just hope that we can finish with a really excellent competition for the men.
Yes, it has been so exciting, kicking it off with the mixed team event on Friday. 2 great competitions Saturday, already a great Women's World Cup this morning, and now for the men's. I mean, yesterday was an absolute nail-biter, so I'm excited to see what changes today.
And of course, the Austrians, with their clean sweep, got all the headlines, but there were other notable performances. Interestingly, no lesser athlete than Petr Preutz remarked about Kasper Tomasiak, the Polish youngster who was so good, finishing as he did in the 18th place yesterday. That was a really dynamite performance. Felix Hoffmann for Germany, another notable performance. And Stefan Kraft today, interesting little statistic here for you, that he is currently on a total of 15,666 World Cup points. The record is held by Jani Ahonen, 15,758. So Crafty may well become the most successful point scorer in World Cup history if he does well today.
Those are quite some statistics. Yeah, I think you mentioned yesterday how many seasons in a row he has been on a World Cup podium, and glad he kicked it off yesterday with another one.
Yeah, it's 14 now, which is quite remarkable, isn't it? Can you? I can't think of anybody who's ever done that.
No, because even the ones that are, the stars, they have highs and lows, and to be on a World Cup podium, that's a definite high.
So if you didn't happen to be with us yesterday, just a reminder that Daniel Schöpfenig, at the age of 23, I'll pause for the moment.
Yesterday the start was not really perfect.
That was not the same like last year, almost the right other direction. But yeah, it is what it is. It was not a good jump. Conditions were not so easy, but all in all, it was a bad jump. So yeah, but today is a new day, and this jump was already a little bit better, and yeah, now every jump try to feel the hill again, like the first jumps I did here, and then it could be okay.
Yeah, it looked really good now. And how important was this jump now for your self-confidence?
This was okay, but I think yesterday this jump was not the niveau I had the jumps and the weeks before. So yeah, it was for me a really bad jump. So I think I can do much better. Maybe not like last year, but much better than yesterday.
Fingers crossed for you. Thank you very much, Pius.
Thank you.
Pius Paschke talking to Horst Nilgin there, and Pius, who reeled off 5 wins right at the beginning of last season's campaign. Today, as he said, much better, 18th in qualification, 128.5 meters. We wish him well. Just to mention before we get going, 1 or 2 who sadly won't be with us in this first round. Eric Belshaw of the United States and Johan Andre Forfang not qualifying today. Vitaly Kalinichenko of the Ukraine, also one of the men who missed out, along with Ipchioglu and Bedir, the 2 Turkish athletes. They failed to qualify. Also Yevhen Marusiak of Ukraine, who's very capable, but today not his day. However, we started the qualification with a really healthy number of athletes, 69 from 21 countries, and now we're down to the 50 who have made it into the first round. I suppose, Nina, it's not unreasonable to say that the Austrians are in a way favourites, but it was also interesting that both Ren Nikaido and Ryoyo Kobayashi for Japan, they were both pretty satisfied with what they did yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday was a bit of a luck game. You had to, manage the conditions well. And so I think today, if the conditions are a little bit calmer, we will see another reflection of where everybody is this year. It was a close competition, and obviously the Austrians ended on the podium, but I wouldn't say overall they are dominating or leagues ahead in any case.
Well, at this moment in time, we have front wind, but we're coming up to 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and the sun going down, and we know that things will change. Here, the facts about the hill there. The hill size, 140 meters. The hill record, 146 meters. Simon Oman, he set it way back in 2009. Marcus Eisenbichler equaled that distance in 2023. Marcus, of course, now retired and has joined us in the world of broadcasting. Well, so far, Nina, I think the jury have done a pretty good job here. Just a reminder of the athletes who were most successful yesterday, with Daniel Schöffenig notching up his 9th World Cup success, an individual victory. And here the order in which the men who've come through qualification will take their turn today. 1 or 2 big names going early. You might have noticed Andy Wellinger amongst them. Good to see that Kevin Bickner's in the lineup. I'm sure that'll cheer you up, Nina.
Yeah, good to see a strong American contingent through to the qualification, or through to the first round. Hopefully they make it through to the second round as well.
Valentin Foubert flying the flag for France. There's Kasper Tomasiek, bib number 33. What an outstanding performance by him. Junior world talent really coming through. Now, be very interesting to see if he can back it up. But there you have 48, 49 and 50. 3 Austrians, Stefan Kraft, Jan Hurl, and also Daniel Schöffenig, who will be last to fly. Jan Hurl, 141.5 meters in qualification from gate number 9. Domen Preoc of Slovenia, the world champion, 137.5 meters in qualification. Ryoyo Kobayashi, 135, also from gate 9. Stefan Kraft, 135 meters. Philipp Raimund for Germany, the Summer Grand Prix champion, 134 meters. Daniel Schöffenig, 134 meters. And that's just a flavor of what happened in qualification. Qualification was competitive. I sense that this is going to be a really good fight, Nina.
It is, and to see such big names early on in the starting order, I mean, any of these guys can make their way all the way to the top.
Sandro, we are able to start with today's
Marek
competition.
Sedlak on the left
Surprisingly,
there, the
we are
assistant
facing
race
some headwind
director.
at the moment, but actually the wind is up to 1 meter per second. So at the moment, no problem with the wind, and we will be in few seconds. We will be ready to start with today's competition. Okay?
Okay, very good. Let's try to go through the first round on time, and then we can adjust the time for the final.
Okay.
Sandro Partile anticipating there, Nina, that conditions in the second round might be a little more tricky, so let's make up some time.
Yeah, but a little bit of headwind, that's good news for us and good news for the athletes.
Yeah, it should be a super start. First man out on the bar, Italy's Alex Insam. Yet to really make the grade. Qualified today, so that's encouraging. There's that upper red line, 123 meters. Not a particularly good telemark on the end, but he's just shy of 60 points for distance.
Good way to start us off here, Alex Insam from Italy. His sister Evelyn actually back into ski jumping, moved to Switzerland, or she's been living in Switzerland, but moved to Einsiedeln to help coach the next generation of Swiss ski jumpers.
Interesting. Jules Chebet for France, Valentin Foubert to come a little later. That's not bad at all.
I would say that's a job well done for Jules. He's an athlete who is trying to make his way into that top 30, and that was a great way to start.
Couple of meters worth of bonus points, really nicely balanced. He's got the telemark landing. Style marks should be respectable. Oh, and they are. Look at that, 17s across the board, almost 110 points. 5.3 points the front wind deduction there, getting on for 3 meters worth, but nonetheless, that was a good effort. Well now, how many times has Mackenzie Boyd-Close come back? But I'm so pleased that he's here for Canada.
It's like he never left.
Well, that's really going to cheer him up, you know, because that is also 2 or 3 meters of bonus points. Didn't quite finish it off very stylishly. You can see the differential in the flight of the skis. All these are points which the eagle-eyed judges will take into account. More 16s than 17s indeed. 16s pretty well, but good enough with a slightly smaller front wind deduction. Mackenzie going into the lead there. Chris Sundal, a man who loves to fly. He's got the conditions to go really far.
A great start for Sundal.
Yeah, encouraging 130 meters and really nicely timed. The transition was good. He was quick into the flight, nicely over the skis. He's got this slightly wider spread, but the aerodynamics are good and the fissures look nice. Good spacing, and that's a promising start.
Absolutely. Athletes like him really struggle in the tailwind, so if there's any wind blowing up the hill, they'll take advantage.
Andy Vellinger, well, it's the early part of the season, although, got to say, we wouldn't expect him to be going this early. Needs a pick-me-up today. Now, I'd be interested to have your take there on his transition and his flight position.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't gotten to see much of him yet this winter. There you can see he came a little bit too high with the line, had to correct, but not really the distance. Obviously the telemark is good, but to be honest, that could be the end of the day for him.
I was just thinking, has he got away with it? Well, we'll have to wait and see. He's gone into 4th place at the moment. But as we said right from the beginning, Nina, this is going to be super competitive. Yukiya Sato. He's been in the doldrums for a couple of seasons, but the Japanese, they seem to be pretty well all to a man and a woman on an upward curve.
Similar to Vellinger, not quite enough height to really make it down the hill. Let's watch the replay here.
Yeah, he's kissed the calculation line and got his 60 points for distance. I mean, it's okay, but again, is it going to be enough to put him into the top 30 to be given a second opportunity today and earn World Cup points? That's the question. You can see there he's got less points than Andy Vellinger. Chris Sundal leads. He's the early pathfinder at the moment. Andy Olav for the United States. Tell me about him, Nina.
Great guy. He's from Fox River Grove, Illinois. Nordic Ski Club. Has his ups and downs, but he's finding himself. There you saw he had to come out of his flight a little early.
The Americans, they seem to get on pretty well with Tore Snell, the Norwegian who's their head coach and the man who's brought the effort together with the Norwegians.
Yeah, the team dynamic is really strong these days. There's been a lot of changes that have gone on, but it's great to see the whole level of the team coming up. And he's not happy with that jump, but at least we have a few more Americans left in the field to cheer on.
Better crowd this afternoon as we see Rok Oblak for Slovenia. The Slovenian factory churning out these youngsters as ever. It's fair, but I'm not sure it's going to be enough, to be honest. It's sub 120.
Yeah, I'm sensing that in order to have any hope, you're going to need to fly over that 125 meter mark.
Yeah, I'm afraid the telemark points are not going to be sufficient to compensate for the lack of distance there. And Rock, that's a farewell wave, I'm afraid, from him. Piers Paschke didn't make the cut yesterday. This is the man who stormed the World Cup, of course, last year. 5 victories in a row, including 1 here, but then he lost his way in the second competition. That's a lot more like it.
I would say that is definitely going to keep him in the running for now.
Not as far as Sundal, but not that far off. He's got the telemark landing. He's actually pretty stylish the way he's actually executed this. Timing is good, finishes well, points decent, deduction for the wind is small, only a meter's worth, and that's pushed him up into 2nd place, half a meter behind Sundal. Giovanni Bresadola for Italy. On his day, this man can be a contender. Well, I'm not sure he's done enough.
No, you can see not really getting out over his skis enough.
Ivo Patile, Jakub Jirotek, Michael Lunardi, the 3 men who are responsible for coaching and managing the Italian boys. 8th place, 103 points. In some competitions he'd get away with that, but not today, I don't think, Nina.
No, I don't think so.
Now, sporting a moustache, Sandro Hauswirt for Switzerland. Wind just changing a little bit, hinting that it might be going behind. Still predominantly front wind at the moment. And Sandro thinking that that might be enough.
It looked much more dynamic, really carrying the speed off of the takeoff. Not huge distance, but let's take a look at the win points.
Small deduction, and that's why he's in third place. 5 meters separating the top three. Chris Sundal for Norway, Piers Paschke for Germany, Sandro Hauswirt for Switzerland. Encouraging. And from one Swiss to another, Yuri Keseli. He's done really well to find his way through the qualification stage. Bine Nortic, the man who's coaching the Swiss, and he will not be disappointed with that.
No, as a team, I'm really impressed with the work Switzerland has done. Some of these younger guys coming up, seamlessly incorporating themselves into the World Cup. This athlete in particular has really developed his own style.
Again, that extended wide spread of the skis, but he's actually balanced it out really well. Not bad. Good smile. Well done. Third place. Alexander Śliszczaj for Poland. First chance to earn some World Cup points. Still predominantly a front wind with us at the moment. Very shallow trajectory, timing was wrong, and I'm afraid that's the end of his day.
Yeah, it was a little too aggressive of a line, not letting it build enough. And yeah, we can say for certain that'll be the end of the day for Schnitzel.
Yeah, frustration there from the head coach, Maciej Matuszak. Kubacki looking on. So many of the Polish boys on the sort of comeback trail, and well, Roman Kudelka, an evergreen for the Czech Republic. When he saw young Agnieszka in Krakowa fly the flag well for the women from the Czech Republic. That was earlier today. Well, he was certainly determined. Technically, it left a lot to be desired. It was pretty messy off the table, Nina.
Yeah, I was going to say it's feeling a little bit cramped. A lot of the actions are forced and not that smooth, dynamic motion that is so successful.
And you can see there we've gone to green, 1.6 points. That's almost a meter of backwind compensation. This was always likely to happen. It was just a question of when, although having a quick look at the wind monitor, there's still potentially front wind to be used. Take France, United States. That's a little better than yesterday.
Yeah, I would say that's more like it. Hopefully he gets some additional points from the wind compensation.
Yeah, there's almost half a meter's worth. Too early to say whether it's going to be good enough to qualify. He'll be in the top 10 for the moment, but down in 6th place at the moment, just below Mackenzie Boyd-Close. Taze, who cracked the top 15 last season, which was a major target. Now, Kazakhstan, Vasiliev. Much better today in terms of getting himself into the competition. Can he make it count? Front wind is back. But he was working, but the skis were paddling throughout the flight phase.
Yeah, what's interesting now is it's still a mix of people that have not yet scored points this year, so it's not necessarily a given that everyone will qualify ahead of the next ones. So I think it's still anybody's game from what we've seen so far.
Well, as you well know, Nina, I mean, everybody has a different preparation, and there are lots of athletes who will come in here in different conditions now. Vilho Palasadi Junior World medals in his trophy cabinet back home. The Finns, both men and women, with their tails up at the moment. Having just said that, I was really hoping for more, as I'm sure he was. That is disappointing. He's much better than that.
Still promising to see some of these younger Finns kind of picking up where we've felt a little bit of a gap. So Vilho, only 21 years old. I think we'll have him around for a while.
Igor Medved, the head coach, but supported by the very experienced Mika Koryakoski, sport director, but a man who's looked after many an international team in his time very successfully, including Norway. And now Tomofumi Naito for Japan. The wind still pretty quiet, less than a meter per second in strength. And that's not too bad. That's over the calculation line.
Very committed with that telemark, not giving away any style points.
It's a very strong coaching team. Kento Sakuyama, who took over a couple of seasons ago, has really proved himself as the head coach, and that's a decent effort from Naito. Supported by Jani Batainen, the Finn who's worked for many seasons with Ryoyo Kobayashi. Also in the lineup as the sport director, Takanori Kono, who's been so effective in terms of Nordic Combined and ski jumping. Kevin Bickner now for the United States. 129 meters, the target to go into the lead.
That was a good jump for Kevin. You could see he really took his time after the takeoff, letting the jump build, and that's what made it so effective down below.
Now, you know Kevin pretty well. What sort of guy is he?
It's a good question. Kevin, he knows when to turn it on, and he's a great competitor. I think people are sometimes surprised how he's able to handle the pressure.
Kevin's gone into 5th place. He's only 4 meters behind Chris Sundal of Norway, who still leads. And now Dia Mezernik for Kazakhstan, another Kazakh junior talent. Well, the Kazakhs are coached by Kairat Bikenov, supported by Pavel Vasiliev, who's actually the head coach. I'm just wondering, you know, with a team like Kazakhstan, whether they would do well to import some expertise from another country, or maybe, Nina, find a way of working with another team.
Yeah, I think the collaborative effort has proven very successful so far.
Well, here he is, 44 years young, 29th season of World Cup, unbelievable. Simon Aman. And that may well put him into the final 30.
It's nice to see his teammates still up on the board. Yuri Kiseli in 3rd, Sandro Hosvard in 6th. So Simon is going to see if he can stay in the mix with those guys.
Now, the downside is he's going to have a 2 meter front wind deduction. Also, the telemark wasn't as good today as it was yesterday, and 10th place. I'm not sure, you know, whether that's going to be good enough. I was being optimistic and hopeful because I'm such a fan of his, you know, all those great achievements from Simi over the years. Carl Geiger, a rotten day at the office yesterday. Let's hope he's put that behind him. And he has.
That was definitely a step in the right direction for Carl. You know, after yesterday, he definitely had something to prove, but his approach here, very dynamic, smooth, patient. I think that's the kind of technique that works regardless of the conditions.
Tells me that he had real clarity in his head. He was very quick in transition there, and that's a pretty decent performance. It's certainly chalk and cheese between yesterday up into third place behind teammate Piers Paschke, who lies second. Chris Sundal and Piers Paschke now definitely into the final round, and Pavel Vasek, the Summer Grand Prix champion of 2024. Nicely balanced.
Yeah, it's going to start to come down to those style points. We're seeing a lot of similar distances, and it looks like in order to qualify, you might need to go a little bit further than that.
Earned 3 World Cup points yesterday for finishing in 28th place. He's got 1 podium to his credit. That was in Lahti last year. 9th at the moment. I think your assessment is absolutely right. It's right on the margins. Karl Geiger through to the final round. And the next man is young Kessely of Switzerland, who's lying in 4th place at the moment. So Naoki Nakamura, less than 126 meters, and the young Swiss Nina will make it into the points final round.
Wow.
Oh.
Naoki Nakamura is not taking any chances there. That was such a solid jump.
Now 29 years of age, and the front wind there inviting. That's over 130. In fact, it's the longest flight by some 3 meters further than Sundal of Norway. It's also extremely well executed. Look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 marks of 18 or better. 129.5, and he's set a new standard. And now to the man who was World Cup champion for the season in 2021 and 2023, 25 times an individual World Cup winner, yet to make his mark though at the major championships. Halvor Granerud.
This is a really close competition so far. You can see any small mistakes, or you can see a little adjustment with his arms. That means he's a little off balance there, off of the takeoff. And that could be the difference between a second jump or not.
4 Hills champion in his time. He's a terrific young man. He's spread his trophies amongst his family, grandparents. They all have mementos from Halvor's achievements. Interesting to see whether Halvor can come back. He dropped to 20th place in the World Cup rankings last season. Now Valentin Foubert had his best ever World Cup campaign last season. Oh, good.
That is good. That is so important to see. To start the season like that, great result yesterday, and then another great jump for Valle. That's really important.
Was top 25 yesterday. He has been as good as 12th on the big hill at Zakopane last season. But for Valentin and Nicolas Dessum, his head coach, this is good news. And predominantly the front wind still with us. There 1 or 2 who've had back wind, but at the moment, conditions still inviting. Antti Aalto for Finland. 30 years of age now, very experienced. 6th, the highest finish he's had, but you've got to wind the clock back to 2018 in Nizhny Tagil to find that performance. Interesting trajectory there, very shallow, but it worked.
Yeah, although he didn't have that much height, you could see he kept the speed, kept the direction, and it paid off for him down in the second half. He was able to fly, and I think, according to the lines, should be enough for that second round.
Taking off at 90.4 kilometers, but accelerating throughout the flight. What would you estimate the landing speed to be? About 105? Or is that too much?
Hard to say, but I would say something like that.
Yeah. Now, Maxi Ortner for Austria, 23 years of age, 2 podiums, one of them last season right here in Lillehammer. Well, he's not a headliner, but he's a terrific support act, isn't he, for Austria?
That's true. He's still on the younger side, and of course, with the likes of what we saw yesterday, it's hard to get your moment in the spotlight on that team.
It's also worth remembering that he finished a very, very respectable 6th on the big hill at the World Championships in Trondheim last season, and 128 meters has put him into 4th place. Anti-Alto, 127.5 meters. He'll be in the final round. So will Maxi Ortner. So will Geiger, and so will young Kesserli of Switzerland. David Kubacki now. Kubacki, 4th in the season-long World Cup in 2023, but last season a really difficult campaign, slumped to 35th place in the World Cup rankings. But at his best, he's very good, and I will always remember, Nina, he winning the Normal Hill World title back in 2019 in a snowstorm when he was stone last after the first round and then came through and won the gold.
Yeah, that was an experience I think a lot of us will remember for a long time, including Casey Larson. He made a huge run at that same event.
Talking of Americans, here's Jason Colby. 9th in the Junior Worlds last season.
A lot of height.
Oh, good.
Great jump for Jason Colby.
Well, this is much, much better today from the American boys. 1-3-0, but the execution is terrific. Love the upper body. The skis are really nice. And you must enjoy this, Nina, the way that he finishes off and he holds his points together.
Absolutely. Still a young athlete, 19 years old. Not a whole lot of World Cup experience, but to come out here and to represent for Team USA like that, really important for him. Also looking towards the Olympics.
That's excellent, and you can see it's taken him up into 3rd place. Chris Sundal, who went early, still within 5 meters of the lead. But a lot of big names, all the successful athletes from yesterday still to take their turn. We've got Olympic champions aplenty amongst them, including the likes of Marius Lindvik for Norway and Kamil Stock for Poland. And of course the Austrian headliners, Schöffernig and Hurl and Kraft. But it is at the moment Naoki Nakamura who leads the first round. I don't think we would have predicted that at this stage, but well done to him. I guess you can't rule any of the Japanese out at this moment. The way they've started the season, they are clearly super prepared. Valentin Foubert in 2nd place, Jason Colby. It's a real international leaderboard. Ren Nikaido, pretty satisfied with yesterday's performance. Ren Nikaido finished in 20th place, the 24-year-old. Well, we said this was going to be super competitive, and it just is becoming more and more competitive.
Yeah, you can see different technique being used there. He's really direct. Didn't know if he'd have enough height to bring him down the hill, but he managed to fly it till the very end, getting some great distance and style points.
No wind to speak of. And 2nd, Japan first, Japan 2nd. Nakamura ahead of his teammate, but by just 0.7 of a meter. Valentin Foubert drops to 3rd and Jason Colby to 4th, but they're all qualified. And now Piotr Jewa, so much better in the 2nd flight yesterday, this 38-year-old, 2-time normal hill champion of the world. Ooh, maybe not enough.
Yeah, that's where it gets a little sketchy. Not quite the distance and a little bobble on the landing, so that means he's going to get penalized from the judges too. And with the points being so close, you really can't afford that.
And this will open the door for Naito of Japan, yet another Japanese qualifier, because Jaewa, sadly, he's out. Down in 17th place. A lot of men have got to fail to let Jaewa get back into the competition. And that's really not going to happen. Now, what about this man? Kasper Tomasiak. A fantastic 18th place finish yesterday. He's done it again.
It was not a fluke yesterday. You can see so powerful on the takeoff. Really strong, producing a lot of height on his own and really flying that out.
Fourth in the Junior Worlds at Whistler in Canada in 2023. And no lesser man than Slovenia's Petar Preuc picked him out yesterday for his performance and his World Cup points, and 5th best at the moment. So he's going to get World Cup points. How many? We have no idea at this moment, but that's terrific. 130.5 meters. Japan, France, United States, Poland, Norway, Finland, Germany, Austria, all at the head of the leaderboard. A real international mix. And now Sakutaro Kobayashi announced himself in the World Cup last season. He's getting better. Well, it's been party time for the Japanese since day one. This is just shy of 130 meters.
Sakutaro Kobayashi actually coming also from the sport of Nordic Combined. He competed in Lake Placid at the World University Games, and I remember being really amazed at his ski jumping abilities, and the next season, sure enough, came up to the World Cup.
Not satisfied, but he has got a letter Q by his name, which means he will have an opportunity in the final round to improve. And now Marius Lindvig, the Olympic big hill champion of 2022 in Beijing, the normal hill world champion in Trondheim last season. Well, that performance is interesting because 134 meters, I was just thinking to myself, you know, he was at the heart with Johan Forfang and the Norwegians. He was at the heart of the manipulation of suit scandal last season. And I've been wondering how it must affect him in his head to be coming out here. There are still one or two who are around who are pretty critical about the Norwegians. But 134 meters, that's really healthy. Gregor Deschwanden for Switzerland, the Swiss #1. And Switzerland already with young Kessely, who's down in 14th place, but that doesn't matter. The fact is, he's qualified. And here is Deschwanden, 4 times a runner-up, twice third, front wins there. Yesterday, top 15, can do better. That didn't quite work.
Yeah, also maybe a little bit of hesitation there for Deschwanden, not yet finding the flow here this winter. Upper body engagement off the takeoff.
126.5 meters. I think this will be just enough, but if it is just enough, he's going to keep Kevin Bickner out of the final round at the moment, because Kevin Bickner is right on the threshold with 126.5 meters. In fact, well, this is interesting. Both of them have got, Kevin Bickner 15.9 points back and Deschwanden 15.8. So Bickner's still got a chance. It really depends on the next half a dozen athletes. If one of them falls below par, Arti Aigro now, Estonia. That's pretty solid. Very stylish. Nice finish. This is competitive.
It is, and so exciting to see athletes like Naoki Nakamura making so much ground. Really shows he had a great first jump, and everyone else is kind of just out there to chase him for now.
Well, he's definitely going to be in the first 5. I'm not quite sure how high. Oh, 3rd. Very good. Look at those style marks there. That's almost as good as anybody has got. In fact, I think it is the best set of style marks. Very good indeed. He's only 1 3/4 meters off the lead at the moment behind Nakamura. But now, Kamil Stoch, encouraging yesterday. Okay, he finished in 13th place. The Olympic champion of 2018 in Pyongyang.
Oh, that is the Kamil we have been waiting for.
Oh, look at what he's done for the Polish fans. 138.5 meters. Well, I was just saying the best set of style marks came from Arti Aigro. Let me revise that, because this is the best performance of the afternoon so far. 1, 2, 3 marks of 19 or better. The perfectionist, Kamil Stoch.
And I mean, you can tell from those reactions, this is not something they're taking for granted. Between the coaches and Kamil's reaction, he's excited.
He slumped to 31st in the World Cup rankings last season. This is Zagravsky for Bulgaria. That's okay. That's 130-ish. In fact, exactly 130. Front wind's still pretty strong. He's going to lose about 3 meters, but the style is okay, and he will qualify. So Bulgaria's flag will be seen into 12th place. Still Kevin Bickner clinging on to hope. He and Sandro Hauswirth and Mackenzie Boyd-Close are in 20th, 21st and 21st place equal. Hauswirth and Boyd-Close at the moment. Stefan Embacher now, the junior world champion of the last 2 seasons, representing Austria, only 19. 11th yesterday.
Now that was impressive.
It was really powerful. Well, Kamil Stoch, 138.5 meters. This is that little bit further, half a meter beyond. Just having a look, a little bit of smaller deduction for Embacher in terms of front wind, but Stoch's style keeping him just ahead of the youngster. Poland, Austria, Japan, 2nd and 3rd. Sorry, 3rd and 4th. Arti Aigro for Estonia in 5th place. And almost predictably now the gate going down to gate 8 now. This brings in gate compensation. That's in favor of the athlete because they have less in-run to work with, as you see yesterday's hero, Thomas Schöffenig. Or I should say Daniel Schöffenig, I beg his pardon. Felix Hoffmann for Germany. An excellent 10th place finish for this 28-year-old German. I wonder how he's feeling about the lower gate.
I think he's probably feeling good about it. He's in really good shape. He has a lot of power on the takeoff. So getting those extra points almost for free is perfect.
Yesterday was a personal best. Last season, he ended up 50th in the World Cup ranking. So yesterday was a huge step forward. But can he back it up on this Sunday afternoon?
I mean, that was another level. One gate down and could be the furthest jump we've seen today.
That's almost into the 140s. It's right up there with Stock and Embacher. I think this deserves to take the lead. The only reason why it won't take the lead is front wind deduction, but in fact he has got there ahead of Camille Stock by 6 points. He leads by 3 meters. Felix Hoffmann for Germany. And so to Manu Fettner. Lisa Ada, his girlfriend, who's been performing really well in the women's division of World Cup. The Olympic silver medalist on the normal hill of 2022. Respectable.
Respectable, but not quite close to that performance from yesterday. What we just saw from Felix Hoffmann was another level. Fettner now not with the same distance.
But he's over 130 meters, and that's crucial. The bonus points that he's getting in distance, compensating for maybe not as good style as 1 or 2 that we've just seen, although 17.5's the majority decision, and that's kept him into the top 10. And remember, he finished in the top 10 yesterday. 8 to go, and Slovenia will be next, and Timmy Zeitz, the big hill world champion of 2023, only 25, although he seems to have been around forever. These are very much his conditions. Well into the 130s, and if I was Kevin Bickner at this moment, Nina, I'd be feeling so frustrated. I'm sitting there. If I lose out by 0.1 of a point, how frustrating is that going to be?
Yeah, it's a tough place to be in, that's for sure.
4th place for Timmy Zeitz. So puts Slovenia on the map. Germany, Poland, and Austria, the 1, 2, 3 at the moment. Look how happy those Polish fans are. Now from one Slovenian to another, Andrzej Lanasek. Can he put distance and style together?
There we go, great jump for the Slovenian.
This is ski jumping at the highest level, Nina.
It is, and he is always one to watch when he gets it right. Look at how stable, calm he is in the flight, and always known for that nice telemark landing.
8 times he's been a World Cup winner, although incredibly 19 times he's been a runner-up. And there he is, once again in 2nd place. 20 centimeters behind Felix Hoffmann. Lanasek goes into 2nd place, Camille Stock down to 3rd. And now Philipp Raimund for Germany, the Summer Grand Prix champion. Pretty solid 6th place finish yesterday. Never won a World Cup, 2nd in Lake Placid, and once again, now is this a jury consideration?
Looks to be like a coach's request, so that means he needs to get that distance of 133 meters to get the additional points.
Yeah, the last efforts have all been gate 8. Wonderful atmosphere. It was great yesterday with all the fans. It's been pretty terrific today. The stadium that was built for the 1994 Winter Olympic Games. There's Stefan Horngacher, the head coach for Germany, in what he has announced to be his last season. And Philipp Raimund with his teammate Felix Hoffmann at the top, gate 7. 13.5 points worth of gate compensation. Oh my goodness gracious.
Fantastic. Both Raimund and Hoffmann, you know, they're picking up right where they left off yesterday. Two of the more underrated German athletes leading the way.
It's not going to be good enough to lead because the gate compensation is going to get rid of half the front wind deduction, but that's still only going to take him up to effectively 137, 138. So, oh, I got it wrong. I shouldn't try and pre-guess the computer. And he's there ahead of Felix Hoffmann by 20 centimeters. Germany 1 and 2. I didn't think he'd done quite enough. Ryoyo Kobayashi, World Cup champion for the season 2019 and 2022. Four Hills champion, Grand Slam champion, ski flying world record holder, Olympic normal hill champion in Beijing. Coming out of gate 8.
I just love watching him jump. I mean, that was beautiful. Just
He's
the
not far
confidence
away, is
he
he?
has.
He's right there, and this is stylish, and it's got the distance, and this is pretty good. 138 meters, Ryoyo Kobayashi deservedly to the top of the table. Four to go, 1 for Slovenia, 3 for Austria. And next up, the world big hill champion from last season's competitions in Trondheim, Domen Preutz. Sister Nika, the World Cup champion of the last 2 seasons, back on the podium earlier today.
Oh, Domen doing his magic in the air. That guy is an absolute flying machine.
140. Now, it's all about front wind deductions. Style is good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 marks of 18. Robert Togota will be pretty pleased with that. Domen Preutz goes to the top of the table. 4th yesterday. And now 3 to come. And they're all Austrian. They're all coached by Andy Widhersel. And we start with no less a man than Stefan Kraft, the World Cup season-long champion of 2017, 2020 and 2024. He deserves a bit of luck today, doesn't he? Because his final jump yesterday, he had the worst of the conditions.
Yeah, but I would say that was pretty close to the limit there. Kraft taking a really low line, moving quickly into that flight, and I think not many other people would have been able to deal with that like he just did.
What's really interesting this afternoon, Nina, is the number of athletes who are actually holding the telemark together and keeping those points. Look at the 19s there. 6th place for Stefan Kraft, but it is so tight. Down in 6th place, less than 3 meters separating the top 6. Incredible. Jan Hurl, winner of qualification yesterday, winner of qualification today. This could be special. He's well capable of going over 140 meters. A breadth of front wind is there. The gate is 8. Oh!
Good jump for Jan Hurl. You can see made some changes to his flight in the past year, and it seems to be really effective, especially at the bottom. Kind of
He's
pushes
a little
his hips
further
through.
than Stefan Kraft. A meter further down the hill. 18s again. Only about a meter of front wind deduction, but that's knocked out by the gate compensation points, and he goes into 7th place behind Stefan Kraft. There's literally 50, 60 centimeters between them. And now Daniel Schöffenig, who admitted that he was surprised that he ended up as the winner yesterday. I was surprised also, but that was individual victory number 9 for the defending World Cup champion of 2025.
And with that, we're seeing yesterday's podium falter.
Yeah, isn't it, for those who are neutral, it's made a fascinating situation because it means that the top Austrians who were dominant yesterday, they're very much in the mix, because when you look at it, Kraft, Lanasek, Hurl, we're talking about a deficit of just 3 meters. And Schöffenig down in 12th place, well, he's got a lot more work to do. He's got 10 meters to find. But what a fascinating first round. Doman Preutz, the world champion, has come out on top. Ryoyo Kobayashi of Japan right behind him. 3.5 points, that's effectively 2 meters, the difference between the top two. Raimund right on the money there with Felix Hoffmann. Down to Chris Sundal, who went early and started to set the really long distances at 130. And I'm sorry to report, Nina, that Kevin Bickner has missed qualification by about 1/10 of a centimeter.
Yeah, it is close out there, and Kevin will be cheering on his teammate Jason Colby. Let's not forget, sitting in 17th after the first round. So great to have something to cheer for in that second round.
Indeed, but what a competitive. We said it was going to be competitive. We thought it would be competitive, and it is. And this is a really open affair with Slovenia, Japan, Germany, Austria, Poland, all within striking distance. France also represented, along with the United States and Finland, Bulgaria, Switzerland, and Japan, of course. So a really fantastic mix. Now just about 13-14 minutes to go to the start of the second round, in which the top 30 will go as ever in reverse order. Doman Preutz, the man who will fly last. And you sense that if it was Austria's day yesterday, maybe it's going to be somebody else today. And yeah, 15-16 minutes to the start of the final round. And a chance to catch our breath, have a cup of coffee or something stronger for all of you back home. This is the moment to put the kettle on, or maybe get the bottle opener working.
I think I'm going to stick to tea for tonight, but maybe another time.
Just a word here about Lillehammer. I think it's always worth giving a pat on the back, Nina, to organisers when they do a good job, and the hill has been beautifully prepared.
It is, and I mean, if you had seen it 4 or 5 days ago, you wouldn't have thought they'd been ready to hold a World Cup, but it's a total community effort around here. You have athletes, coaches, volunteers, all helping to bring that snow onto the hill. And from what we've seen, I mean, conditions look perfect for ski jumping.
Yeah, conditions are good, they've been fair. The preparation of the hill has meant that landings have been safe. And that's really important. It's the first weekend, so we want to give everybody a really encouraging start, and there are a lot of athletes who will have taken encouragement from their experience here at Lillehammer, and that's really important because it's a long season. This is the Olympic campaign building up to Milan Cortina in February. But we really have a super second flight in prospect here. Well, can Doman Preutz, I wonder, add to his 10 individual victories? It'll be interesting to see what happens, Nina. This is the time of day when the wind conditions can change. And having had predominantly front winds throughout the first round, we are likely to have back winds in the second flights.
As we heard from Sandro ahead of this round, they're willing to take their time in the second round, so I don't think they're going to push it through and make sure that everyone gets a fair chance. Yesterday we did see the tailwind pick up towards the end of the round, so yeah, we'll have to wait and see.
Just a word on that, Nina, because of your own experience when you actually go from front to backwind conditions. When you encounter backwind conditions, what do you know, how does that change your approach?
I mean, as you've seen, the best jumps are the ones that are simple, so as an athlete, you can't think about changing your technique per se, but it does feel a little weird when you're jumping in tailwind. It kind of sucks you in and you just don't get the distance, and you have to really trust that what you did was technically correct, even without the reaction.
Because it's one thing to come off a piece of concrete at 90 kilometers per hour with front wind which can support you. It's another thing entirely, Nina, which you know, to come off the table and there's nothing there.
Yeah, there's nothing there, and you can't wait to feel something, because then you've kind of ruined the flow. So it's really, that's where the confidence plays such a big role, and you kind of have to trust that what you did, and you keep flying. And yeah, it sounds simple, but it's definitely an exercise.
And well, you may not talk about it, but I have enormous respect for you and your ski jumping colleagues, not least for the courage that's required to actually come down an in-run and take off at 90 plus kilometers.
Yeah, having taken a bit of time away from the sport, when I found myself back at the top of the hill, I was like, this is something we just taken for granted, getting out on this little metal bar and looking down into the unknown. And yeah, it is quite impressive.
I mean, it's quite, I mean, I know from, you know, being up the hill, sometimes you know, you can just be intimidated by, you know, the height. I mean, I always remember one or two hills, like going to the top of the big hill at Lahti, where the hill stands out in the sky. There's nothing to the left and nothing to the right, and you feel quite insecure.
Yeah, I had some teammates who are actually afraid of heights, so I think that made jumping a little bit more challenging for me. I always loved it, because from the top of the ski jump, you usually had the best view of the city or town, and we got to travel all around the world, so yeah, good views all around.
Well, I can remember being intimidated. Did you ever come across the Kilomètre Lancé in Les Arcs, the speed skiing?
Not personally. I have seen videos of that, and that seems like,
well,
the skiing part was fine, but the stopping part.
I can remember being at the top of that slope, and it was lunchtime, and I was looking down it, and it was like drawing me down. So we'll take a little pause, give you a chance to, as I say, grab a cup of tea or maybe something a little stronger. We are literally a few minutes, about 8-9 minutes away from the start of the second round. And what a second round this promises to be. It really is tight and competitive. Literally a few meters separating the first half dozen. And this could go many which ways. And if one or two fall by the wayside, they may open the door for others. So Nina and myself will be back with you momentarily for the second flights. Well, welcome back to Lillehammer for this, the concluding chapter in what has been an excellent opening weekend. I'm David Goldstrom, together with Nina Lucy. Thank you so much for being with us on FIS TV. Myself, apologies for the croaky voice, just trying to throw off a cold. And if you weren't with us, or even if you were here, just a reminder of those who qualified for the final round. Switzerland's Gregor Deschwanden in 30th place, the top 30 going in reverse order. Just a reminder that 15,000 francs, the Swiss francs, the first prize collected by Daniel Schöffenig for winning yesterday's men's first individual competition. Jan Hurl in second place, 11,500. And Stefan Kraft in third place, collecting 9,000 Swiss francs.
Yeah, looking at that first round, I think a lot is still possible. I wouldn't say anybody's running away with it yet.
Oh no, really early days, but just a reminder of the fact that prize money has been increased for both the women's and the men's circuit. Austria heading the men's Nations Cup rankings as a result of their 1-2-3 yesterday, 451 points ahead of Slovenia. Japan in third place, but as you rightly said, Nina, very early days. But the top 30 separated by 19 meters, the top 20 separated by 15, the top 10 by 9.5 meters, the top 6 by just 3.25 meters. And this could be really interesting because there is still, Nina, at this moment in time, a breath of front wind. So those who go early could have a real chance of picking up some decent points.
And I'm sure nobody's going to want that headwind more than Gregor Deschwanden here, starting earlier than expected.
6 times on the podium. We've not seen the best of him this season, but a long way to go. Coming out of gate number 9.
And there we go. That was a much better jump, and you could see he was satisfied with that effort. Small improvements, and they are paying off.
Much more fluent, seemed to be a lot more relaxed. Perhaps not putting the pressure that he was putting himself under for the first flight. 233.6 for the man in 30th place is not a bad accumulation of points. But it's going to be really interesting to see the final total. It'll be topping 300, surely. Now, the first of the Japanese challengers, Tomofumi Naito. 125 meters, his first effort. Well, you can see the upper red line there, and he's surpassed the calculation line by probably about a meter, possibly 2. In fact, just 1, 124 meters. What's encouraging for him, Nina, is the fact that he's made it into the final 30. He's going to collect some World Cup points.
Yeah, definitely. It's important, especially for a team as strong as the Japanese team. You don't have that many options to prove yourself, so every jump counts.
Fantastic Japanese support. They've really enjoyed the weekend. But what about this youngster, Yuri Kesseling? First World Cup points, for sure. 126 meters the first flight. He was in trouble from the moment he came off the table.
But to me, it's good. He didn't try to do it perfectly. So for young athletes, it's important to still be able to risk it a little bit, try to make some adjustments. And Caselli, I think, will be very pleased with his performance today. Like you said, it's important to get some World Cup points when it matters.
Yeah, well done. Didn't panic. And he's behind Deschwanden, but he's got World Cup points for Switzerland. And the Swiss under Bine Norcic. There's a really good spirit, a good feeling amongst the camp. The men and the women improving. And now Carl Geiger. As I said in the first round, a horrible day at the office yesterday. This is a bit better, but not much.
Yes, it's crazy to be seeing the likes of Gregor Deschwanden and now Carl Geiger starting so early in the round.
He would have certainly been looking to improve on his first round effort. He's maintained his ranking position ahead of Deschwanden because he had an advantage in terms of points, but 234.2, he's only 30 centimeters ahead of Deschwanden. But a long season, and now David Kubacki. I'm a big fan of this man. He's flown the flag so well for Poland, overcome so many trials and tribulations.
There we go. That was a good-looking jump for David, using his power on the takeoff to generate that extra height, and that really helped carry him down the hill.
He's been a terrific servant for the Polish team over so many seasons now, Kubacki. 35 years of age, 11 individual victories in his career. He's not going to add to that today, but it would be lovely. We've already seen Kamil Scott give signs of his revival. It would be lovely to see Kubacki get back to his very tip-top level. And now Maxi Ortner for Austria. A little bit under the radar with all the headline Austrians, but this young man will never take anything for granted, and look at that.
Yeah, it means a lot to be starting the season with this kind of jump, and you can see from his face, he's very happy with that effort.
Well, as I mentioned in the first round, he had 2 third-place finishes, 2 podiums last year. One of them was here in Lillehammer, so happy memories. And this, over 130 meters, everything about this effort was so much better than the first one.
Yeah, he's going to be really happy with that. And I caught some snowflakes coming down, so it's nice to add to that Christmas spirit here in Lillehammer. A little fresh snow.
Sakutaro Kobayashi, you mentioned in the first round, you first came across him as a Nordic Combiner.
Yeah, it's true, and now look at him. Ooh.
Really has made progress. Only slightly over the calculation line. 1.5 meters of bonus points. Front wind deduction of a couple of meters. No gate compensation at this point. We're holding on at gate number 9 at the moment. Sakutaro Kobayashi has done remarkably well in the space of a couple of seasons.
Yeah, that wasn't quite the quality jump that we've seen from him so far this year, but again.
But relatively inexperienced at this level. You couldn't say that about Vladimir Zagravsky, but you just can't be sure on his day when he gets it right. He could pop up into the top 10. Today is not going to be one of those days, sadly, for his Bulgarian fans.
No, but I think it's important to know the difference, you know, between his highs and lows. In the past couple of days, we've seen, I think, 3 really strong jumps. So if that one was a little bit off, that's still a good sign for Vladimir going into the rest of the season.
Although he's always slightly disappointed me, Nina, because I remember him getting the junior world title way back, 2011, and that is a heck of a long time ago. Now, here's another man who had a bad day at the office yesterday. He didn't even qualify for the competition proper. Piers Paschke, who was the charger, the dynamite starter last season in the World Cup. Well, Geiger-esque, because what was so good in the first flight was very poor the second time around.
Yeah, I think he was trying to channel some of that good experience from last year, but it was not as connected as it needs to be, and he's definitely going to see himself falling down a few places in the standings.
But he's a grafter. He works really, really hard. So it's too early to say that he can't come back. But it's going to be a bit of a journey for him. Maxi Ortner of Austria leading from David Kubacki. Carl Geiger still in third place. Now can Antti Aalto of Finland shake up the top of the podium positions?
I'm seeing a lot of frustration from these athletes right now. Sometimes you want to leave your best on that last jump on a hill before you pack your bags, and Antti Aalto, he's going to be left wanting more.
Wind strength dying away and direction turning a little bit. We could be heading for backwind conditions pretty soon. And Antti Aalto actually with 10 points of backwind is that right? No, can't be. Front wind still. Maxi Ortner in the lead, 20 to go. And so the next 20, the top 20 separated by 15 meters at the halfway stage. This is the current leader. But in the next group of 10, some really talented athletes. Chris Sundal of Norway and Manuel Fettner, I should say, of Austria. Marius Lindvik, the former Olympic champion, and Arti Aigro of Estonia. Ren Nikaido, and most of all, Daniel Schöffenig, yesterday's winner, who lies at the halfway stage in 12th place. It's going to be pretty tough from that position to get him back onto the podium, but never say never. And, well, as you said, a little snow falling now, but at the moment it shouldn't be troublesome. Let's hope that it just stays at the level and we don't need any interruptions to the in-run. Sundal. Still something to work with.
He doesn't look happy with that, but we have to remember that he's starting with a very low bib number. Yeah, bib number 5. So that means he's coming from nothing. So he's definitely walking away with some points, and that will help him.
It's a step forward, and that's what you want. A poor Saturday followed by a much better Sunday. Maxi Ortner still prevailing, moving up the table into the top 20. And next up will be this talented young Polish athlete, Kasper Tomasiak, in the top 20 yesterday. 130.5 meters the first flight. Really good height, and he's got over the calculation line, maybe, what, 124, 125? Not quite as far.
You know, I'm really pleased to see just how almost consistent he is here. Really powerful in the takeoff. And what stands out is his ability to fly here. Skis really close to his body.
Just seemed to climb a little bit too much, maybe, on reflection.
Possible, but a great start to the season for Tomasiak.
Oh, fantastic. Fantastic. And now Manu Fettner from the Austrian Tyrol. Well, he found himself into the top 10. He's going to have to produce something extraordinary if he wants a top 10 finish today. Certainly he's got to take the lead away from his teammate Ortner. There's the green line to give you a guide as to where he needs to go to. Ortner, 131 meters. Fettner, 127. less front wind deduction will close the gap, and he might just get there. And he has. By just over half a meter, Manuel Fettner for Austria eclipses his younger teammate Maxi Ordner. Chris Sundal down to third place. USA are next. Jason Colby, top 10 in the junior worlds, and he's done extremely well to qualify today. These will be really important World Cup points for him.
Yeah, they will, and he's shown us such a strong level in the past couple days. It's promising for him, promising for the rest of the team too. Sometimes it's nice to be able to train. You know who you're competing against. So Jason Colby, let's see what he's going to show us.
Yeah, stay calm. A meter or two short of the calculation line. It's still going to earn him some World Cup points. You can sense his own disappointment there. It didn't quite come off.
Yeah, I think he got a little bit too ahead of himself there. You saw he had to kind of pull back with his arms and wasn't able to maximize that really strong flight position that he has.
Backwind compensation, just a breath of it. You can see 0.1. Top 10 at the moment. Next to go, Marius Lindvik. Now, can he put two together? The snowblowers are out.
Yeah, it goes to show the bar set by Ortner and Fettner is very high.
Yeah, Manu Fettner, 127.5. This isn't quite as far. So, Marius Lindvik looking to capitalize on his advantage over Fettner, but it's not enough, and Manu Fettner moves up another place. As you may have seen on the side of the hill, the Lillehammer organization, all the snowblowers are there to make sure that the in-run is clean, there's no resistance, and Valentin Foubert for France. Delighted to see him in this round as he comes down to the compression. Has a different way of going about it, but actually 125, 126 meters, it's that sort of territory. 126, 18, 18, 18, 4 marks of 18. He loses just a meter, and he's up to second place. That's a good result for Valentin.
Absolutely. You saw from his face that maybe he expected a little more, but a really good start to the season, and really keeping him right in the middle of that top 30 is a good place to be.
So important for him, but also for his French teammates as well, to have someone who's a pathfinder. Well, this man does not have many Estonian teammates, but he flies the flag really well, works closely with the Norwegians, Arti Aigro. 90.2 the in-run speed, a little bit more than the first round. And another man peppering around 126, 127 in fact. That's right up there with Manu Fettner. Arti Aigro's advantage over Fettner from the first round pushes him into first place. Arti Aigro, who finished a respectable 14th yesterday. 13 to go. And now Ren Nikaido. Well, I mentioned in the first round he was pretty satisfied with yesterday's performance, but looking for more this time. Really aggressive.
That's more like it. What's really standing out for me from the Japanese team is how strong they are in the air. Seems like they've made some adjustments, and here you can see no movement at all. Super dynamic, wide V, but keeping the surface area and the skis flat. Very effective and great jump for Ren Nikaido.
Yeah, really good style and distance, 131.5. That's a really good day's work. And that's going to make dinner very, very enjoyable. Ren Nikaido to the top of the table, 12 to go. And now the man who collected his 9th success yesterday, Daniel Schöffenig. Where is he going to go? He's got a lot of height.
He's going to go far, that's for sure. He wants to spend a lot of time.
He was going for 140 meters.
Wow.
That's what he was looking for. He's a couple of meters short, but he's made a real mark here. 137.5 meters. And 1, 2, 3, 4 marks of 19 or better. Andy Vidhersel delighted. And Nina, he's thrown the gauntlet down to the 11 who have yet to fly.
Yeah, he's going to enjoy some time in the leader's box.
This is going to be fun now. How far is Schöffenig going to go up the table? Naoki Nakamura, 133 meters in the first flight. Over 140 meters to lead.
I would
Still
say,
a breath of front wind.
Yeah, decent effort for Naoki. His first round jump was a real standout one, and that was a good jump, not his very best, but a good day at the hill for Naoki.
Well, Kento Sakayama, the head coach, is going to be delighted because the collective effort of the Japanese is really terrific. Naito, who went early on, Ren Nikaido, now Nakamura, much better than yesterday. That's a real improvement. Third at the moment, and we're down to the top 10. And as you digest the leaderboard there with yesterday's winner at the top of the table, Slovenia, Austria, Germany and Japan all represented in the top 10. The top 10 separated by 9.5 meters. The top 6 separated by 3.25 meters. This is not over. And the names in the top 10, Dina, to Sabre: Kamil Stock, Jan Hurl, Stefan Kraft, Andrzej Lanasak, Felix Hoffmann, Philipp Raimunds, Ryoyo Kobayashi, Domen Preutz, and it'll be Timmy Zeitz to get us underway, to be followed by the junior world champion Stefan Embacher for Austria. Austria with not just one, but with 1, 2, 3 athletes in the top 10, and at the moment they lead the competition. Timmy Zeitz to challenge Timmy Zeitz yesterday in 8th place. Big Hill world champion back in 2023.
Ooh.
Into the top 10 goes Daniel Schöffenig. Ren Nikaido lying in 2nd place, 131.5 meters. Nakamura in 3rd place, 130.5 meters. Timmy Zeitz doesn't make the podium. Backwind compensation of almost a meter. But now it's going to be really tough. And how far is Daniel Schöffenig going to climb up this table? Stefan Embacher, it's going to be Austria versus Austria. The junior world champion of 24 and 25. Snow just intensifying. Good effort by Stefan Embacher.
Yeah,
really good effort.
We have to remember Chofenig has a big lead over second place, so if you can get close to that green line, that can keep you in contention for now.
Well, this is a really mature performance. Remember, he was an excellent 11th yesterday, which equaled his lifetime best. He was 11th on the Holmenkollen last season. Second place, Austria first and second, piling up the Nations Cup points. Schöffenig ahead of Embacher. Almost 5 meters, the advantage that Schöffenig still has, and now Camille Stock. Can he do it again? 138.5 meters. Conditions are different. And he knows it.
Yes, he does. He knew he needed another outstanding jump to keep him up where he was. Unfortunately, that looked a little controlled from Camille.
13th yesterday, and Camille Stock at the moment in 5th place. But still 7 or so to come, so could well be pushed outside the top 10, but definite encouraging signs for him, for the fans. And that first flight was really enjoyable. Now Jan Hurl. Now the fun and games really begin. So Jan Hurl taking on Schöffenig, his teammate. The style is pretty solid. He's not going to get worse than 18s, that's for sure. It's all about the distance, 129 meters. Backwind compensation of almost a meter would take him to 20 to 130. It might not be quite enough. And Jan Hurl, 14 times a World Cup runner-up. And he's in that second place yet again. And Daniel Schöffenig, even higher in the top 10 now. Austria 1, 2, 3. Schöffenig, Hurl and Embacher, and it could be 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, Stefan Kraft, who had poor conditions in the second flight yesterday, but today he's cracked it. 19, 19, 19, 19, 135 meters. And surely this is enough to depose Schöffenig, Nina.
That was a fantastic flight for Stefan. And like Chofenig before him, he's not giving anything up on the judges' points.
Now we're into that top 6. And you can see how motivated this 32-year-old, looking today for his 46th World Cup victory, and respect and appreciation there from Daniel Schöffenig. Austria 1, 2, 3, 4, and now Andrzej Lanasek to try and break up the party. Deceptive.
I think he'll be in the mix of the Austrians, but not sure it'll be enough for the lead.
Well, he's right up there with Kraft's distance. Just having a look at the deductions, I think Kraft will just, well, I'm just looking at the differential between first and second rounds between Kraft and Lanasek. It's very tight. Very, very, very tight. He thinks he's done it. The moment of truth. Oh. By 1.4, almost 1.5 meters, Kraft holds on to the lead. Lanasek goes second and Schöffenig is third. Hurl is off the podium and Embacher is down to 5th place. Ren Nakaido for Japan is now 6th ahead of Nakamura. This is Hoffmann of Germany.
Wow, what a jump from Felix Hoffmann. He is looking for that World Cup podium, and that was another great effort for him.
This is the new leader, no question about that. He may not get quite as many 19s as Stefan Kraft, but having said that, I can see 4 marks of 19 coming, 138 meters, And Stefan Horngacher on the left there, really, really delighted. Now this shows you, Nina, what can happen. 50th last season at the end of the World Cup in the rankings. Yesterday, top 10, now leading. And it's Germany versus Germany. Philipp Raimund to take on his teammate. Toenails between them.
Oh, this is getting so close and so exciting. We're seeing great telemarks, huge jumps, and it's going to come down to toenails, like you said.
This is fractions. Half a meter down in distance. Style as good as Felix Hoffmann. Germany are going to be 1 and 2. Kraft is going to be down to 3. And who gets the call? Again, very, very tight. And Felix Hoffmann holds off Philipp Raimund. Germany are 1 and 2. Stefan Kraft is in 3rd place. And then, as they say, there were 2. So Felix Hoffmann knows that for the first time, he is on the podium. He's never achieved that before. Ryoyo Kobayashi now for Japan. And just when you think you're there, Ryoyo Kobayashi comes along.
Kobayashi loves a good challenge. He loves the pressure of that moment, and you can tell he just stood up to the challenge and delivered.
This is one of the highest standards and quality of competitions we've seen for a long, long time. The performance of these athletes is amazing. Ryoyo Kobayashi goes into 1st place. Already the Japanese have had success today with Nozomi Maruyama doubling up, trebling up. And now Kento Sakuama must wait and see whether Kobayashi is going to be the winner, or will it be Domen Preutz? Front wind is there for the world champion. Got to be up to 140 meters. And Domen Preutz is right on the premises.
I don't know what to say. I mean, that was another incredible effort. With Domen, you have to watch the whole jump. You can never count him out. He somehow makes meters appear at the bottom of the hill that you didn't think were possible.
Well, there's no doubt that in terms of style and completion, Ryoyo Kobayashi wins that. The telemark not as good there from Domen, and that could well be the difference. 139.5 for Kobayashi, and it looks as if Ryoyo Kobayashi is going to get his 37th victory, because Domen Preutz is the runner-up. Yesterday he was 4th, today he's 2nd, and the victory goes to Japan. And what a weekend, Nina, it's been for Japan. They won the mixed team event on Friday. Nozomi Maruyama has won the 2 individual competitions for the women. And now, after an Austrian clean sweep yesterday, Ryoyo Kobayashi, 3 times World Cup champion and 4 hills champion, Olympic normal hill champion, has come back with his 36th career, if not, I might be wrong there, it could be actually be the 37th individual World Cup success. What a competition.
Yeah, that was incredible. We saw some huge jumps. Let's look at the meters out there. In order to be in the top 3, you had to not only go far, but you needed those 19s for style.
This was really a competition at the highest level of the sport. And Ryoyo Kobayashi denying Domen Preutz by just under 2 meters. Well done to Felix Hoffmann, the first time on a World Cup podium. Congratulations to him. Stefan Kraft in 5th place, the best of the Austrians today. Ance Lanasek giving Slovenia 2 in the top 5. the Austrians with Stefan Kraft in 5th place. Schöffenig up into 7th place ahead of Jan Hurl and Stefan Embacher. 4 Austrians in the top 10. Ren Nakaido and Nakamura in 10th and 11th place. Timmy Zeitz in 13th. Valentin Foubert, excellent 16th place for the Frenchman. Just looking a little further down, Kasper Tomasiak of Poland, 22nd, getting some good World Cup points. Jason Colby of the United States, 26th. Those are encouraging points for him. And Yuri Kesseli of Switzerland, 2 World Cup points for the youngster, 29th place. And Naito getting a single point for Japan in 30th place. Well, what a start to the World Cup season for Japan. Absolutely outstanding, Nina.
And to show just how many competitors are really world-class right now. Yesterday we saw Austria 1, 2, 3. Today, no Austrians on the podium. So it means every team has been training hard and developing some really great systems. And yeah, it's going to be a thrilling season.
And a change in the overall World Cup standings because Ryoyo Kobayashi is going to get the yellow bib ahead of Daniel Schöffenig. The unofficial presentation before the technical equipment checks are completed. But here are the achievers. We've almost been spoilt, Nina, because the standard of ski jumping from these guys today at the highest level, and if they can maintain this, well, it really is going to be a special season.
Yeah, some of your favorite names, but also some new names out there. The Germans in 3rd and 4th today, Philipp Raimund, and of course Felix Hoffmann with his first World Cup podium. That's really exciting to see.
I think it's really important for them because, you know, Karl Geiger's struggling, Piers Paschke is struggling, Marcus Eisenbichler has retired, so it's down to the new generation. Well done to these 3 men, to Domen Preutz and to Ryoyo Kobayashi and to Felix Hoffmann, who now go to the little hut where Mr. Haffele and his team will check that everything is as it should be in terms of suits and skis and boots and gloves. But I hope that all of you with us on FIS TV will have enjoyed Friday, Saturday and Sunday and the opening weekend of the Viessmann supported World Cup of ski jumping. It's been remarkable, and you've seen athletes, both men and women, performing at the highest level, sometimes in difficult conditions, but they've mastered them. And today, well, we've had a real treat to finish off our visit to Lillehammer.
Yeah, I think that's called ending on a high note. Some really, really beautiful flights and some snowflakes in the air. Means we have a good season to come.
Yeah, we couldn't have wished for a better opening weekend. And well done to Lillehammer. Excellent organization. You saw the snow coming down. The snow blowers were out smartly to make sure that the in-run was clean, that there was no resistance, and that everybody had a safe and fair competition. And well done to Borek Sedlak and Miran Tepes, the 2 assistant race directors working with the jury. Well done to the jury, actually, Nina. I think they've done a good job this weekend.
I totally agree. They allowed some far jumps, but
so
definitely...
just a pat on the back to Jelko Gross, the technical delegate, who's effectively the chairman, and to Roer Steunen. And also supported by someone you know very well, Jess Jerome, who's the assistant TD. They've had to make any or all the important decisions, and they've done well.
Fun weekend to be a ski jumper here in Lillehammer.
Ryoyo Kobayashi goes to the top of the individual World Cup standings for men. Daniel Schöffenig in 2nd place, Domen Preutz in 3rd. Jan Hurl drops to 4th, but there's only 40 points or so between the top 5. In the Nations Cup, well, Austria, with 4 athletes in the top 10, they're still commanding 622 points. They are 189 ahead of Slovenia, with Japan in 3rd place, Germany 4th, Poland completing the top 5 in the Nations Cup. And their confirmation, and you saw it yourself, Ryoyo Kobayashi now the proud possessor of the Viessmann Golden Bib as the #1 in the World Cup of ski jumping for 2025-2026. So just a little patience required whilst we wait for the equipment checks to be completed. Then the presentation will be made, and for the 4th time in the space of 72 hours, the national anthem of Japan to acknowledge the achievements of their athletes. I have to say, Nina, I'm just trying to think back, but I think this has been one of the most successful opening weekends that I can remember.
Yeah, I mean, just watching the competition was a lot of fun, but to see so many players in the game and, you know, twists and turns along the way, it's been really exciting.
You know, the athletes have really turned up. The organisers have done a good job. The jury have been spot on. I mean, it's been really good.
Hopefully that's a good sign for what's to come next.
Well, I think with all the controversy and cloud over the sport as a result of last season's suit manipulation scandal, it's really good that we've had this quality of opening weekend. I think all the new rules and regulations with relations to suits are really important. The new regime for checking the athletes really seems to be working. And so far, if this weekend is a good example, everything has worked really, really well. Jari Vatainen, Kento Sakayama, really delighted with the success. I don't think I've seen as many Japanese happy fans. The good news about this, Dino, is if they can keep this going and take this sort of success to Sapporo and Zhao, then maybe we'll get a really, really good response from the spectators there.
Yeah, I know from the athletes' side, they love competing in Japan, so it can only be exciting, and to see some new names out there on the women's side, especially Nozomi, will definitely be drawing some new fans to the hill.
Next stop for the tour is Falun in Sweden. Normal hill and big hill competitions, part of the build-up to the next occasion when Falun will host the Nordic Ski World Championships. So that'll be important. Nina, you'll have your eye on the best of the women, so you'll be looking after Nozomi Maruyama again. I'll be focusing on the men.
But it's been really great to be here together with you for this World Cup opening weekend, the mix of the mixed team and the individual competitions. I hope the spectators have had the same enjoyment that we have.
Oh, Nina, thoroughly enjoyed being with you and having your inside expert eye. It's been really, really good, and I hope everybody with us on FIS TV has enjoyed that, because that's something really special. You've been there, up there, done it, and this is wonderful. I'm just so delighted to see so many smiles, Nina, so many happy faces.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of tension that comes in like the weeks leading up to the start of the season, but now a bit of that tension has been released. For the teams that performed well, they know that the hard work paid off and they're in a good spot. For the other teams that know they have a few changes left to be made, they know what they need to focus on and are excited for another chance to perform.
Well, there's so many teams who actually can take a lot of positives from today. Obviously, the Austrians under the tutorship of Annie Widhersel, the Japanese, of course, but Stefan Horngacher with the performances of Philipp Raimund and also Felix Hoffmann, of course. That's really, really encouraging. Robert Hagota, the head coach for Slovenia, he'll be, I think, pretty satisfied with what Domen Preoc and also Andrzej Lanasek have produced here. So there's a lot of countries where I think, you know, there are positives. The French, Valentin Foubert, will have delighted Nicolas Dessum, and I'm sure that Tore Snell will be pretty happy with Jason Colby's performance today.
Yeah, and the rest of the U.S. team was also in the mix. They qualified for the competition, so I think it's a good start for the U.S. team, but also nice to have Jason showing with his best jumps where he is in the mix.
Yeah, I feel sorry for Kevin Bickner to miss the cuts and not quite make it into the first round by 0.1 of a point, but that's the name of the game, I guess.
It is, and I mean, he knows what it takes to be up there in competitive, so maybe being a little hungry at this time in the season can help motivate the athletes as well.
It's quite appropriate that the snow's falling now because it's really the announcement of winter. Winter has come to Norway because the snow that you see on the hills all actually resurrected from last season. Fantastic spirit amongst the Japanese. They've done the men and women's. There's Sandro Petile. It's difficult to get a smile off Sandro, but I sort of sense there some happiness from his point. He should be really happy because it's been an excellent weekend.
Yeah, I think a lot of the changes that have been made in the past, 6 months to a year have helped, and to see these performances obviously coming off of some challenges in the past year, it's nice to see such a great competition.
Sporting the Viessmann yellow bib as the World Cup leader. And these athletes, the Japanese, have really appreciated their fans who've been here. As you rightly said, Nina, it costs a pretty penny to come and support this sport. Flights are much more expensive these days. And it's so nice. We've seen fans from literally all over Europe who've turned up here in Lillehammer.
Yeah, but for anybody ever wanting to go see a competition, Lillehammer is always a safe bet. It's a great atmosphere and a beautiful jump, and you really feel that Olympic history, and yeah, you get to get really close to the athletes and kind of experience the action in a really special way.
Of course, the easiest one to get to is actually Engelberg.
I'm not sure about that.
Oh yeah, it is. It's so simple. You fly to Zurich, go down in the airport to the train station, get on the train to Lucerne, get off at Lucerne, walk across the platform to get the mountain railway to Engelberg, come out of the station at Engelberg, turn to your right, 200 meters, and you're at the hill.
If anybody's looking for a tour guide, I think you've got the job.
Well done to these three men. They are amongst 30 who've given us a really terrific final round, and well done to all the athletes. In fact, these are the three who are the headliners. And just as you see them, just a reminder, do have a look at FIS TV on FIS.com. Lots of interviews and reaction and news you can pick up from the athletes. Congratulations to Felix Hoffmann, a World Cup podium for the first time in his career. to the runner-up, Domen Preots, fourth yesterday, the world champion, now 80 World Cup points. And Ryoyo Kobayashi back on the winning trail. World Cup champion, multiple times, Four Hills champion, ski flying world record holder, Olympic gold medalist. What hasn't he won? Well, one thing he hasn't won is the gold medal on the big hill at the Olympic Games. That is very much a target for him. So, after the congratulations and the mementos, the national anthem of Japan for the fourth time in the last 72 hours. Nozomi Maruyama, the Japanese, winning the mixed team on Friday afternoon. It's been their weekend in Lillehammer. Well, Nina, I think we've been treated to some wonderful sport over the last 3 days. Final thoughts from your side?
Yeah, I think a perfect experience also for the junior athletes to be able to watch this kind of ski jumping on TV and hopefully be inspired for the season to come. I will say the impact of this kind of ski jumping really trickles down.
So Japan, Slovenia, Germany occupying the top step of the podium. Smiles all round, a lot of happiness at the hill, and a safe 3 days, no accidents, really well prepared hill. A really excellent jury. Well done to the local organisers in Lillehammer. Well done to Sandro Pertile and his team. And on behalf of Nina Lucy and myself, David Goldstrom, thank you ever so much for being with us on FIS TV. The journey next to Falun in Sweden, a sort of dress rehearsal for upcoming World Championships in Falun. And we look forward to your company in the coming week in Sweden. For now, though, from Nina and myself, as ever, thank you for watching. Enjoy the weekend ahead. Stay safe wherever you are. From both of us, bye-bye from Lillehammer.